Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars, and welcome to my first top 10 list to end the year of 2019. And today's top 10 list is my favourite PlayStation 4 games for the year of 2019. Now this isn't an exhaustive list. I haven't played every single PlayStation release this year. I'm only a small channel. I have to buy and purchase all the games myself to play. My channel's far too small to get review codes and things like that, despite what people might think when they watch my reviews. So I haven't played everything that's been released this year, but I have played as many as I can. And this list is the games that I have enjoyed the most this year. I've got the most fun out of, the most value for money out of. And all of the games that you will see on this list have all been reviewed on the channel. So if you want to see a more in-depth review for each of them, please head over to that playlist and have a watch. So I hope you enjoy this list. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. So coming in at number 10 on my list is the game American Fugitive. Now this is a game that I obviously reviewed on the channel. It's like an indie game. It's like a very old-fashioned retro Grand Theft Auto style game. It's very fairly priced. It was on release and you can get it even cheaper now, and it's a hugely fun, entertaining game. It's open world where you play a fugitive trying to clear your name, all in the while get into loads of misadventures, get chased by police, do criminal stuff, all that kind. It's such a hugely entertaining game. The mechanics are very old style and retro, reminds you very much of the top-down Grand Theft Auto games in years gone by. It's got a real slick look to it, a style of graphics that you will remember from years ago, and it's just a hugely entertaining game for the money that you pay for it. And it's one that I really, it was a real nice surprise, and I love it when you play games like that you don't expect an awful lot from. You buy it for a decent price, you play it, and you have loads of fun with it. So that's why it's made my list. Its value for money is absolutely brilliant, and one that I strongly recommend. And you can pick this up now in a sale most weeks on the PlayStation Store and have a lot of fun with. So definitely deserves to make my list. Coming in at number 9 is Age of Wonders Planetfall, a science fiction turn-based strategy game. These are the sort of games that I really like. These are the games that you have to put a lot of thought into. It's very slow pace, very tactical, very strategic. And this is one of those games where you choose a species, and then you've got to try and dominate the map, and spread your forces over the map and negotiate with factions and rivals, and increase the strength of your armies and your commanders. And it's a lot of fun. You can lose yourself in this game for dozens and dozens of hours. And I had a lot of fun playing this game, and still do. I still put it on periodically and have fun playing it. If this isn't your style of game, then you're not going to get much out of it. But for what it is, it's a lot of fun. There's some expansions as well that have been released that I haven't tried yet, even though I got like all the expansions. I just haven't got around to playing all the expansions yet. But a really fun game, and it kind of does what it says on the tin, this game. If you like these sort of strategic map dominant games, then you're going to have a lot of fun with this game. It was released in August, I believe it was, this year. It's certainly in the UK, and it's a game that certainly held my attention for a good few weeks, and it's probably one you can pick up in sales here and there. So definitely worth picking up. I had a lot of fun with it, and it deserves to make it on number 9 on my list. Number 8, Spiders Greedfall. Now I have played not all of them, the majority of the Spiders games, from Technomancer to all of them essentially, and they've always shown a lot of potential, this studio. All the games have been flawed that I've seen from them, but you could see the potential in them all, and Greedfall is the closest I've seen to the studio reaching its potential. It is still flawed. I don't like the fast travel way you fast travel in this game. The way the map's broken up, it feels very old-fashioned at times, but it is also an awful lot of fun to play. There's some decent voice acting going on at times, and it is certainly Spider's most polished RPG that I have seen to date, and they are getting closer and closer to realising their potential. So fans of old-fashioned styled RPGs will probably have a lot of fun with this game, and it's certainly one that I had a lot of fun with, and it is probably, because there wasn't a huge amount of RPGs released this year, it's probably one of the better ones that I could recommend you playing if you're a big fan of old-fashioned style RPGs. Coming in at number 7 is Frostpunk, another kind of budget title. I think it was something like $34.99 or $29.99 when it was released on PlayStation, and this is another of those strategic management building games, and it's really nicely stylized in the sense of it's in like a steampunk type future where the globe is frozen over completely, and you've got to try and build your society back up from the ground up in the depths of this icy world, and you've got to keep everybody warm, you've got to build these facilities, you've got to send people out on expeditions to find new salvage and parts and new survivors to add to your community, all in the while growing and expanding your home base. It's a really well made, in-depth city building type game with a difference. It's almost like a survival game as well. It's actually quite tough, but once you get into the groove of it, it's a lot of fun, and definitely one of those games that will probably be easy to pick up in a sale by this point, so I really enjoyed this one. Coming in at number 6, you might be able to see a pattern here with some of the games that I like. This is Stellaris. Now this is a science fiction really in-depth space sim, where you can create your society from the ground up. Your species, there's loads of different species to choose from. You can choose the politics and the technologies and all these different things, and then you are free basically to expand your empire how you see fit on the map. It's hugely in depth, this game, hugely strategic, but if you're a patient player and you really yearn for like a really in-depth space simulation, this game will do everything you want really. It's loads of fun, it gets really tactical the more you get into it. The feeling of power that you get when you expand your civilization into different solar systems and expand your empire, you can go to war with other species, huge fun. Coming in at number 5, Far Cry New Dawn. This game I just had so much fun with. I'm not a massive fan of Far Cry games. I didn't even play Far Cry 5, even though I'm fully aware that this game is essentially an expansion from Far Cry 5 with all the returning characters and you're on the same map, etc. This is like you're set in a post-apocalyptic future, the nuclear bombs have dropped, and you've basically just got to go around and dominate the map, find ways to build up your base. I really had a lot of fun with this game. I thought the shooting mechanics was absolutely brilliant. The weapons were really cool. The story I quite enjoyed, even though the central the two twins, the bad guys, weren't particularly interesting. I loved this game and I thought it was a load of fun, and I played it for weeks and weeks and had a great deal of fun with it. So that's why it's so high on my list. For me, games should be fun, and this game is certainly fun. Coming in at number 4, Judgment, from the same people that made the Yakuza games. We get, if you like, their first original game for a while, and this is where you are a detective on the trail of a serial killer, over in Japan, and it's a brilliant game. Fans of the Yakuza games will feel immediately familiar with this game. A lot of the mechanics are very similar. The fighting is very similar, but the difference here is you're a detective, so you have to investigate crime scenes, things like that, interview people here and there. So it adds a different layer to it in a sense. You're not a criminal like you're in the Yakuza games. You are somebody different, but there's a lot of things that will feel very familiar to you. You've got your arcade, you've got your side activities, you know, your baseball and things like that. And my suggestion would be to you is, if you enjoy the Yakuza games, you're going to enjoy this game. It's got a new English voiceover that I thought was done really well. It worked fantastically, I think, for the game. It flowed really nicely. The story was really interesting. The characters were great and fun, and I had a huge amount of fun with this game, and it's one of those that I think you should check out. If you've never played a Yakuza game before, this could be the game that will introduce you to that kind of world. Number 3 is Days Gone. This is a game that I think unfairly got a lot of stick upon its release, and I couldn't really understand why, because I really enjoyed this game. I thought it was a superbly created open world with brilliant voice acting and motion capture. I really enjoyed the story. It really pulled me into the story. I thought that side of it worked really well. I enjoyed the mechanics. Yes, it doesn't really do an awful lot different to what you've seen in other open world games in regards to the mechanics, but it does them all really well. And its take on like the zombie apocalypse is quite interesting. It does something a little bit new and a little bit different, and the feeling of fear and tension you get when you're being chased by a massive horde of these zombies, even though they don't call them zombies in the game, is really exciting. And that feeling of fear when you're trying to A, survive, or B, take them down, or C, run away from them, whatever. It's a really good game, and I think they've really spent a lot of time patching it when it was released, and updating it, and they've really improved the game constantly. And for those of you that were put off by the lukewarm reviews, you need to give this one a go, because it is definitely, I think, one of the best games of 2019, and it deserves certainly a chance from those who didn't check it out when it was first released. Coming in at number 2, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Who would have thought that EA would deliver this game? Well, EA didn't deliver it, it was Respawn, but with the EA badge on it, you always worry. And with this game, it blew me away. It was so good. It's such a fantastic Star Wars game. It really makes you feel like you're a badass Jedi in this game, and it's easily the best Star Wars game I've played for quite some time. And single player Star Wars games are back with an absolute bang. It's a brilliantly made game, this. The lightsaber combat, I think, is on point. The force powers feel really cool. You could argue there could have been a few more force powers here and there, but I think they went for the less is more approach. The exploration worked really well. If you're a fan of Uncharted and stuff like that, and the Souls games, you're going to feel immediately comfortable with this. But the main selling point for this game is it's just a damn good Star Wars game, and Respawn should be applauded, and I can't wait for what they do next with Star Wars. And my game of the year has to be The Outer Worlds. It's the game I've had the most fun with this year. It's the game, I think, with arguably the most replayability. It's really well written. It feels nostalgic. It feels like Fallout done right. It's that Fallout in space game we've always wanted. Really snappy writing, brilliant voice acting, really interesting story, and loads of fun. And this is easily the game I've had most fun with this year, and I think it's probably going to be at the top of most people's list for game of the year. Certainly for console players, I would suggest. I think anyway, It's got really good writing. The companions are really fun and interesting. The side missions are all generally really good. There's no cheap fetch quests, not really. The fact that you get your own spaceship, that you can explore these different planets and fly to them when you want, and I just applaud them really. I think they've delivered a really fantastic space RPG, and deservedly my game of the year for 2019. So there you go, guys. That's my top 10 favourite PlayStation 4 games of 2019. There's a couple of games I really wanted to get hold of, Death Stranding being one of them, that I just haven't had a chance to get. I'll probably get it as a present for Christmas. So yeah, there's some I haven't managed to play, but that's my list for 2019. Every single one of those games on that list are very entertaining to play. I would love to know in the comments, PlayStation players, what your favourite games are of the year, or tell me what order you think I should have put these in. So yeah, I think it's been a really good year for gaming. I'm really looking forward to next year. Next year looks like it's going to be an epic year for gaming, and I really just can't wait. I think my life's going to be swallowed up next year with a lot of gaming content, so prepare yourselves for that. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for supporting the channel in 2019, and stay tuned for more top 10 lists. Thank you.